Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Barefoot Conversations with Magdalene. How are you doing? How was your week? How was your weekend? How are things going with you? I would like to know. I always ask that question. Do hit up your girl with some of those answers and let us have that conversation together. Today's topic is another good one. And I was just thinking of several things that I could possibly talk about. In the past couple of weeks, we've talked about crime, we've talked about youth delinquency, we've talked about so many issues surrounding youth and knife crime and everything that's happening that is topical within the society, rightly so, because we need to not just talk about it, like I've said, but we should actually come together and do something about it in order for us to not just be noisemakers, but actually helping one another, especially those, unfortunately, who are not only mourning the loss of their loved ones as the family of the victims, but also mourning the loss of their loved ones as the family of the perpetrators, because the perpetrators may not have died, but obviously once they are caught, they get incarcerated, and so that life as well is lost because they are locked up in prisons for a long period of time. So what are the families supposed to be doing about that? It's not something you're going to be very proud of. Oh yes, people are talking about what their children did, and then these families come, oh yeah, my child killed somebody else's child. No, that's not something we talk about. So that's why I've been making reference of these things, because I want us to come together and show solidarity to families who are unfortunately going through these painful issues. But not only that, but also for us as parents, as families, as members of the society to come together and do something about this, because this is something that is so rampant within the society. We can't fold our hands and do nothing. Yesterday marked the 1 week of the unfortunate that happened, the killings of those innocent children and some adults at the Manchester concert, Ariana Grande's concert last week, Monday in Manchester. So yesterday was 1 week of those young people. So I just remembered, I was like, on Sunday, those innocent victims that died, on Sunday many of them were excited about the concert that was going to be taking place on Monday. And then Monday morning, especially the young children, they would have gone to school very happy and excited, telling their friends, oh, tonight I'm going to be going to this concert. And then obviously the time came, they went to it, coming to the end of it, everything was still fine, until obviously at the end, that this evil individual decided to play God and take his life and other people's life as well, which, that's why I said decided to play God. Who has that right to do that? So again, it's not something that we fold our hands and say it happens to those people. Who are those people? We are all human beings. We're meant to be a brother's keeper. We're meant to be considerate for each other, and how we can support each other is so paramount, it's so important. And that's what we're meant to do, to come together to help each other. And that's what Barefoot Conversations in the last couple of weeks has been highlighting and talking about, issues that are surrounding and affecting young people, because it's so important. And not just young people, because obviously it has a kind of boomerang effect, in the sense that is affecting the families, it's bouncing back to the families, because it comes back to the families of the victims and of the perpetrators. But today I want to talk to us about here. Why are we here? In my time of research, there's a lot of scientific meanings behind all of this particular topic, and so why are we here? Some of them I'm going to be highlighting. There's others as well, talking about the Christian faith and talking about the Bible and what God says and everything. And some of those things I'm going to be picking up. But I just want to briefly just kind of read what I wrote down in a narrative for this video. And I said, what is the reason for human existence? Why are we at our present location? Is there a bigger plan for our lives? Are we happy with our present location? Are we at our present location to help somebody else? So what is the reason for human existence? Why? What's the reason? Why are we here? What is the sole purpose of us being on planet Earth? And so as I began to research and look at so many things, the Bible tells us, it tells us that God made us to be here to reproduce, to dominate, and to look after the earth that he created. And that's one aspect of things. And I began to look at other aspects of things. And you were looking at people like Charles Darwin and his theory about why we are here. So I'm just going to read briefly on some of these things. It says, the writer says, this is by Dr. Supriya Swarup. Sorry, if I'm not pronouncing the name right, but it's Dr. Supriya Swarup, and she said, I've been intrigued by this question from a very young age. Now, after several years and multiple life experiences, I believe I know the answer. This is what she says. She says, Charles Darwin's theory of evolution claimed we had come from a less sophisticated model and evolved through natural selection and genetic mutations to become the human beings that we are today. Anyways, the Australian Aborigines believe in the distant past when God walked the earth by creating, when God walks the earth, they created humans. So let me take that again. The Australian Aborigines believe in the distant past when God's, plural over S, walks the earth, they created humans. Hindus talk of the Rig Veda, where a cosmic man was sacrificed to create humans. Christianity and Judaism believe God made humans on the 6th day of creation. Muslims similarly believe in Adam and Hawa, so they call it Hawa, so in brackets it says Eve. And multiple other civilizations, such as the Mayans, had their own beliefs. With several theories to explain how we came to existence, we can't confidently prove any of them to be true. What we can marvel at is the existence of this stunning earth and everything that it contains, from the mountains and oceans to the seasons and weathers, to the plants, animals, and human beings. Okay, so I'm not coming here to obviously bring about my religion or my beliefs and everything. I've just read what somebody wrote down. This is a research that she carried out, and she concluded with this essay that she's written down, and I'm just reading it. So my angle from when we're looking at why we're here, I'm looking at it from the Christian point of view, in the sense of why we're here, that God created us, and we're here for a purpose, to reproduce, to dominate, and to look after this earth in any way we can obviously look after. But that is not the angle I'm actually going to be looking at today. When I go back to the narrative for this YouTube, I said, what is the reason for human existence? That's the first question. Why are we at our present location? That's the second question. Is there a bigger plan for our lives? That's the third question. Are we happy with our present location? That's the fourth question. Are we at our present location to help somebody else? That's the fifth question. So why are we here? Have you ever sat down and asked yourself this question? Why am I here? What's the sole purpose of me being on planet Earth? Or not only on planet Earth, but what's the sole purpose of me being at this present location? So that's the angle I'm looking at for today. Because if we were to talk about our beliefs, I could be here for hours talking about this, and Barefoot Conversations is only for 30 minutes. So it's from 11 a.m. to 11:30 every Tuesday morning. I don't have enough time. There's a lot of research out there. There's a lot of beliefs that everybody's going to say, this is my beliefs on it. So I'm not going to go into all of that. I'm just looking at it from the location. We're looking at locality. That's the angle I'm going to be looking at it today. Why are we in our present location? What's the sole purpose of you being in your present location? Have you ever thought about that? Many a times I find myself thinking and saying to myself, why am I here? Or better still, why am I at this place again? Does that make sense? Does that resonate with somebody when you think of that? And say, why am I at this place again? So that means something would have happened before, and you would have said to yourself, okay, if you've gone through that, whatever situation that might have been, and you've gone through that, find yourself, you're back in that place again. So it's not the same time, it's not the same year, but you find that the situation that is occurring around you is something that happened before, and it's something that you thought you'd close the door to and you'll never go back to, but you found yourself back there again. Do you? Why are we at our present location? I'll give you an example. And this was when I used to work with Barclays Bank many years ago. When I first got the job with Barclays Bank, I was so excited. My family, I remember my parents were busy dancing up and down, so happy that, wow, their daughter is working in a bank. I was really, really excited because it's a prestigious thing. You're working in a bank. And so I started off working in a cashier, and then I moved up from there. And, you know, one day turned to 1 week, and went to 1 month, and on and on and on. And years were going by, and I was really excited, but it got to a point that I became so miserable. Why was I miserable? Was it because I didn't like the job? Was it because the job was no longer good? What was it? The job was still what it was. So you had the opportunity, as you would do in any workplace, to move on to other departments, especially if it's a large organization like Barclays Bank is. You have the opportunity to do so. But it got to a place that I didn't want to do so. I didn't want to move to a different department and work in a different section and learn something new in a different section of the bank. I just wanted out. So this is the same me all those years before, back in 2002, when I first started working with Barclays Bank. Really excited and very happy. My parents were still very happy that, wow, their daughter is working in a bank. But me as an individual was not happy. But that was my present location at that time. But I wasn't happy at that present location. But what did I do about it? I didn't do anything about it. All I did was to moan, make myself miserable, and obviously, I didn't want to keep it to myself. I wanted to make sure that other people knew, and I was miserable. And so what I was doing was spreading my glitter dust of misery to other people as well. But I was in that present location. What did I do about that? I didn't do anything. For a very long time, I didn't do anything. No, I tell you that. I wrote a resignation letter and just left it. But then that might as well be me doing nothing, because there's no point writing a resignation letter. And if you don't do anything about it, that means you haven't done anything at all. And that was it. I just left it. So coming back to my question, why are we at our present location? So this is something I want us to begin to think about. Why are you at your present location? Are you happy in that location? Or is that something that you need to speak to yourself and say, do I need to move? If it's in the house, or if it's a workplace, or wherever you may be, do you need to move away from there? Is there something else that you can do to make yourself more better, make yourself comfortable in that location that you find yourself? Because we find that the angle I'm looking at it in the mindset of the human beings. I'm looking at it from not only our belief system. I'm looking at our inner peace. I'm looking at the inner peace. I wasn't having inner peace when I was miserable and ensuring that other people knew that I was miserable whilst working with Barclays Bank. I wanted to leave, but I did not do anything about it. In my mind, I wanted to leave and begin to tour around singing. I'm a musician, so I just wanted to go around touring and singing. That's all I wanted to do. But I wasn't actually doing anything about it until the power was taken from my hand and redundancies came into place. And I wasn't asked if I was going to take redundancy. It was given, it was offered, not even offered. It was given to me in a sense that I had no say in the matter, because that department was closing down and many of us were losing our jobs, and I happened to be one of them. So that, in a sense, that was what caused me to change my present location. But then I'm flipping this question back to us now. When you find yourself in a location, in a place that you're not happy, either a physical location or mental location or spiritual location, whatever form of location you're looking at, what are we doing about it? So coming back to my question, why are we here? I'm not talking about here as in on planet Earth. I'm talking about at this present location that you find yourself. Why are you here? I'm here right now with Barefoot Conversations because this is my online talk show. And I have to be present and deliver what I said I'm going to be delivering. On the banner behind me, you can see it says every Tuesday mornings at 11 a.m. So I have to be present to ensure that I meet up with that. So right now, this is my present location in a sense of I am presently here talking to you, the listener and the viewer, to you now, in your life, in your situation, either in a physical sense or in a spiritual sense or in a mental sense, whatever sense that it may be. Why are you in that present location? That's the first question. Are you happy in that present location? And if you're not happy, what do you need to do to change that in order for you to regain your happiness? And if you are happy, how can you do, what else do you need to do to take you from that place of happiness to a place of joy. Because remember, happiness is something that because something happened, something good happened to you, you're happy. But joy comes from within. It's something that resonates from within you. So regardless of what has happened, you have that inner joy that brings about that inner peace within you. So my question to you now is, why are you at your present location? What did you do that brought you to this present location? What did you do? So the next question is that, is there a bigger plan for our lives? So all those years that I was at Barclays, the first few years I was extremely happy, everything was good, I didn't have any problems. But then as the 1 year turned to 2 years and to 3 years, I guess I became very comfortable where I am. And instead of me doing something to push myself to the next level or push myself to the next department, because I wasn't happy, so there was no point in me doing it because I just wanted to get out. But I wasn't doing anything about it. But then I wasn't happy, in as much as it's a good job, good pay and everything, was the fact that I knew that this was something that I had something bigger planned for my life. So I wasn't happy. I was not in my place of destiny. I was there, I was with Barclays Bank for that time frame, but it was not my place of destiny. And that's what sometimes we find ourselves becoming restless when we are not in the rightful place. I talked about wanting to tour and wanting to travel around and to sing and to become the next Beyonce. I love Beyonce in the sense of her talent. There's a lot of things that people will say, so I don't really want to go into that, but I'm just going to stop there. So I wanted to be the next Beyonce and just tour around, but I didn't actually sit down to think that, okay, what do I need to do in order for these things to happen? But one of the things that I found out later that was making me very restless was the fact that I wasn't in my place of destiny. Barclays Bank at that time was something that needed to happen. There were knowledge and skills that I need to acquire from there, but it wasn't something that was going to be a long term for me. At the time of my redundancy, there were other people there with me who were also made redundant, who had been in the bank for over 30 years plus. So they literally left school and straight into the bank. So they didn't know any other business. They didn't know any other thing. Barclays Bank had become their life. So for them, it was a real shock to the system. So for me, I was in a place of happiness. I was like, yes, now I'm going to follow after my talent, in as much as I hadn't really sat down to plan anything through. But one thing I know now that I may not have really known how to put it into words, was the place that I was not in my place of destiny. And that's a question I need to ask us. Are you in the rightful place? Are you in a place of destiny where you are supposed to be? Because, sometimes we get caught up, especially when it comes to job. We get caught up with the beauty of the job, in a sense of the paycheck, in a sense of the benefits, in a sense of the insurance that we get, and all the esteem that comes along with that job, because it's a prestigious job and the way people rate us within the community and within the society. We get caught up in that. But is that really the place of destiny? I remember a couple of years ago, I can't remember now, but some few years ago, I was invited to come to sing in Mansfield in Nottinghamshire. So my husband and I went. So I was going to be singing on a Sunday. So we went on the Saturday. So we booked into a hotel and stayed over till Sunday, and before obviously coming back. And then when we got there, the couple that ran this it's a small little cute B&B. It was a very nice place. That ran this B&B. The husband used to be a high-flying lawyer right here in London. So he left his job, left London, and they just relocated to somewhere quiet and not away from the hustle and bustle of London. And so I remember when we got there, we settled in and we're having dinner, so we just started talking. And so I just got into conversation with the guy and started talking. I just started talking with the guy. And then he started telling us that, oh yeah, he used to be a high-flying lawyer in London. And he just got to a place where he said, you know what, I can't do this anymore. This is not who I am. Yes, I went to school and I studied for this. I've done this for many years, but I'm not having any happiness. Because the guy was saying, he was having all these suicidal thoughts. He was depressed. There was a lot of unhappiness with him and his wife and family. And those things were not happening. So you have the money, you have the prestige, but inside within him, he had no joy, he had no peace. He was restless. And he got to the place, he said, instead of him jumping off a cliff and killing himself, he's just going to end it all, leave the job, pack up and go away. And so they got up, So obviously with the money that he saved from his work, they went off to Nottinghamshire and got this beautiful B&B. And it wasn't very crowded, but it was nice. The location, everything was beautiful. And they found peace there. And so that's a question coming back to what I've been asking. Why are we here? Are you at your present location, either physically, mentally, spiritually, in any way, shape, or form? Because you fell into it? Because it's a means to an end? It's because of what comes with the job, with what comes with the prestige you get within your family, within a community, within a society? Is that why you are there? Okay, let's leave jobs now. Let's come to house. Why are you living where you're living? Are you happy at home? Because some people have the biggest house, but they don't find peace in that home. They're never able to stay in that house. They're always, when it comes to evening time, it's like they want to just go something. They prefer to sleep in the car or anywhere else outside the house that they spent thousands of pounds to buy. For me, I don't understand that, but then everybody's different. Why are you in that present location that you find yourself? Are you living the life that you're supposed to live? Are you in your place of destiny? That's the angle of today's show, Barefoot Conversation. Why are we here? Barefoot. So if you look at the image, I've talked about this before, it's about being real. So I left Barclays Bank because I was made redundant. But then the touring that I said I was going to be touring didn't happen because obviously I didn't have proper planning, proper knowledge and skills. But then a year later, I met my husband, go to university, we had a conversation, and then I went to university and I went to study. I keep saying this, to study music industry management, and that was in 2008. And that blew my mind because then, by the time I finished my degree in 2011, I fully understood why I was here. So I fully understood why, while I was in Barclays Bank, I became restless. I fully understood why I was saying to myself that, oh, I wanted to tour. There was nothing wrong with me touring. It could have happened if I had proper planning, proper management team and everything around me. That could have easily happened. But I fully understood why I had gone through everything I'd gone through in life up until that point in 2011 and what I needed to do. And since 2011 to 2017, that's 6 years on, I have begun to walk in my place of destiny. And so I'm asking this question as I look at my time and I see that my time, with just 6 minutes left, it's coming to an end. So science will say all it needs to say. The Bible will say all it needs to say, and every other religion in between will say all they need to say as well. But the thing I want to say here is that until you understand the full reason why you are at your present location, wherever that may be, either in a workplace, in school, at home, wherever it may be, even in the country that you're presently staying, until you fully understand and begin to walk in your destiny, you find yourself, like me all those years ago, going to the job. So in the outside, it looks prestigious, it's wonderful. But inside, you're going through turmoil because your mind is not at peace. And that's what I want to say to us here. Until you find peace in what it is you need to do, you will continue to jump from one place to the other. Many people leave the country that they're at and go to another country and find that things begin to flourish and things begin to go really well for them because that's where they were supposed to be in the first place. So Barefoot Conversations for today, Tuesday, the 30th of May. It's not about the killings, it's not about the young people, it's not about anything. It's about you and me, so the listeners out there, either young or old, for you to actually take time to reflection, to understand why you were here. And also it goes back to the young people because as someone who runs a youth organization, I can't be too far. I'm having 4 children of my own. I'm not far away from the young people. So it goes back to the young people. For all these young people who are killing and doing all manner of things, if we actually sat down and really began to think about our lives, and what it is we're supposed to be doing. I truly believe that so many of this horrendous crimes that we hear about, we read about on a daily basis, will not be happening because every single person will be walking in their purpose. And that's what it is. The bottom line is purpose. What is your purpose? What is your purpose? What are you doing in order for you to achieve your life's purpose? Do you even know what it means to have a purpose in life? Why are you here? I'm here right now with Barefoot Conversation to be talking to you. That's my purpose. To be able to inspire you, to be able to empower you, to be able to in order for you to begin to transform your life. Hence the reason I'm called a transformation expert. If we're working with young people or youths, the bottom line is about transforming lives. So I'm coming to you here very bare, very vulnerable, and just speaking to you and letting you understand that when it's all said and done, we must understand that we all have purpose in life. Until we identify what our purpose is, we continue to walk around in a merry-go-round. We live a life that does not have any meaning. Because we live in a life to please other people. We're living a life to show to other people that everything is well, when actually inside of us we're dying. Why are you here? Why are you in your present location? I keep saying it, either physically, mentally, spiritually, in any other way you want to think of. Why are you here? You need to understand that. All the different religions will tell you the different things. I can come here and tell you about what the Bible says, because I'm a Christian, so I'm going to tell you about what the Bible says. But then you're going to have someone out there who will say, no, but my religion says this, or my religion says that. But I believe, my belief system is in line with what the Bible says. The scientists will tell you what they've studied and they've researched, and they will tell you what their conclusions have come to. Everybody's going to say all the different things, but you as an individual must understand why you are here. So my sole purpose of not just being here on Barefoot Conversation, but is to be able to inspire people. And I've come to realize that music has a large part to play in that. Hence the reason I'm a musician. Hence the reason I started an organization, a youth-based organization, using music as therapy. Hence the reason I talk and inspire other women using my story, my background, my knowledge, my expertise, so that they will come to their place and embrace their expertise, embrace their knowledge, embrace their skills, and shine through their art. So regardless of whatever you find yourself doing, regardless of where you are, regardless of where you live, regardless of everything that may be happening around you right now, if you are at peace with who you are, and you know that you're walking in your destiny, and you're living a life of purpose, everything around you may seem as if your world is crumbling down. But when you're walking in your purpose, there's peace. So externally, so many things may be happening, but inwards, you have peace because you're walking in your purpose. But you don't allow those things externally to hold you back. You see things through your mind's eye and are able to visualize the destiny, the life that you desire, and walk in accordance to it in order for you to fulfill it. Not just about sitting there and saying it, you're actually actualizing it. So Barefoot Conversation, it came about with a discussion with myself and my coach in the gym. But if that discussion just ended there, I won't be sat here 3 months down the line. So it's one thing to see things through your mind's eye, but there's another thing to walk in order for you to actualize that which you are seeing. I'm going to end with this. Why are you here? Know why you are here. Understand why you are here. And live a purpose-filled life. My name is Magdalene. I am a transformation expert. I'm the CEO to do 2 different businesses. The first one is called Music Relief Foundation, or we use music as therapy to work with young people in order to unleash their creative spirit. I'm also the CEO and founder of Magdalene, where I work and coach women who are struggling to find their purpose in life in order for them to live a purpose-filled life. To connect or reconnect with their purpose and passion in life. Until next week, Tuesday. Think about what I've said. and know why you are here and begin to walk in your purpose. Have a great day. Bye for now.